Have you ever felt like you were meant for something greater, but couldn't explain why? Like the world doesn't see you, yet something beyond this world watches closely. You're not broken. You're not lost. You might just be one of the rarest souls on this planet. An Omega-level chosen one. Welcome to Divine Calling, the place where purpose meets power. In this episode, we're going deep into the signs that separate ordinary from extraordinary. The rare codes written into the DNA of those who were never meant to fit in, because they were born to lead, to break cycles, to change everything. If you feel like life has been preparing you for something big, but you don't know what yet, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you won't just understand who you are. You'll understand why you've always been different. Let's begin. You start to feel it before you have words for it. A strange disconnection from everything that used to excite you. Parties feel hollow. Success feels empty. Even love feels not enough. It's not depression. It's not boredom. It's awakening. Something within you starts to whisper, "This isn't it." And the louder it gets, the more uncomfortable life becomes. Because once your soul gets a glimpse of who you truly are, it refuses to settle for who you've been pretending to be. The world doesn't warn you. It doesn't say, "Hey, you're about to be called into something massive." No. It hits you in silence, through loss, through failure, through people walking away. Everything that kept you grounded begins to fall apart. And just when you think you're cursed, you're being chosen. Your pain isn't a punishment. It's a portal. What's breaking you is also shaping you. What's leaving you is making room. You don't see it yet, but everything is being rearranged for your rise. You feel surrounded by people, yet completely alone. No one gets it. They tell you to move on, to stop overthinking, to just be grateful. But inside, you're burning with questions no one wants to answer. Why am I here? What am I meant to do? Why does everything feel off? That spiritual tension, that quiet anguish. It's your soul pushing against the illusion. Most people ignore it. But chosen ones? They can't, because their mission won't let them sleep. You start to notice signs, synchronicities, numbers, dreams, people showing up at just the right time to say something you needed to hear. And you wonder if you're imagining it. You're not. Reality begins to bend. The veil between the physical and the divine starts to thin. Because you're not just living anymore, you're aligning. And the universe is making it very clear. You're not crazy. You're waking up. And the final sign is a breaking point. A moment when you can't keep pretending. You can't go back to the job, the relationship, the routine. You don't care if it costs everything. You just know you're done living a lie. That moment isn't a breakdown. It's a breakthrough. That's the second your real life begins. And it's the second the universe whispers, "You're ready." You don't fit in. And deep down, you don't want to. While others chase trends, you question everything. While they seek approval, you seek truth. From a young age, you felt out of sync, like an alien wearing human skin. You tried to play the part, smile, belong, but something inside kept screaming, "This isn't home." That voice, that discontent, that was your gift. It's the first mark of an Omega-level soul. They're allergic to mediocrity. Your emotions run deep, too deep for most. You're not just sensitive, you're tuned in. You sense things before they happen. You read people like books. You walk into a room and feel the energy shift. And while others see this as a curse, it's your radar. It's how you detect truth, how you avoid danger, how you know who's real and who's just pretending. It's not weakness. It's intuition. Refined, brutal, and definis. People come to you with their wounds, their secrets, their shadows, even strangers. And you wonder, why mitva? It's because your presence disarms people. You reflect back to them what they've hidden. You don't even try. It just happens. It's a lonely gift, but a powerful one, because you were never meant to blend in. You were designed to see what others avoid, to feel what others bury. That's not coincidence. That's calling. You question everything. Religion, rules, authority. You challenge dogma, not out of rebellion, but out of hunger. Hunger for what's real. You don't settle for shallow answers. You dig. You deconstruct. And through that destruction, you find deeper meaning. Omega-level chosen ones don't follow paths. They forge them. And it's that unshakable hunger for truth that separates them from the masses. And here's the secret no one tells you. All that rejection, all that being misunderstood, it wasn't random. It was protection. The universe was keeping you hidden, shielding your light until you were strong enough to carry it. Now, the veil is lifting, and the world is about to see what it refused to recognize before. The one who never fit in was never supposed to. People are drawn to you, and you don't know why. Strangers feel comfortable confessing their pain. Friends say you're easy to talk to. But this isn't about being nice. It's energetic. You radiate something ancient, something magnetic. The wounded recognize your frequency. The lost feel safe in your silence. You're not trying to heal them, but your very presence begins the process. You are a mirror, and some people see their own soul for the first time when they're around you. You don't speak much, yet people remember your words. They echo, not because you're loud, but because you're true. Omega-level chosen ones don't talk to impress. They talk to impact. And when they speak, it lands like thunder in the hearts of those who need to hear it. Their words come from somewhere deeper, from battles fought, scars worn, wisdom earned. It's not charisma, it's resonance. But here's the twist. This gift also attracts darkness. Not everyone who comes close is seeking light. Some are drawn to destroy what they can't understand. That's why you often feel drained after conversations. It's not in your head. It's spiritual. You're carrying frequencies most can't handle. And that's why discernment is your survival skill. Because not everyone deserves your energy. You've been accused of being too intense, too much, too emotional. That's because you bypass surface-level nonsense. You dive straight into essence. You feel when someone is lying. You know when something's off. And most people aren't ready for that kind of clarity. But that sensitivity? It's your compass. It's how you know who to help and who to walk away from, even when your heart wants to stay. In your silence, storms settle. In your presence, masks fall. You are not just a person. You are an activation. Something in you wakes up something in others. And sometimes, that's beautiful. Other times, terrifying. But either way, you are a catalyst. And nothing stays the same once it meets you. There's something unexplainable inside you. A pull, a fire, a force that won't let you quit no matter how exhausted you are. You've been through hell, yet you're still standing, still fighting, still rising. That's not normal. That's spiritual stamina. While others collapse under pressure, You get sharper. Pain doesn't break you. It reveals you. You don't chase comfort. You chase calling. Your story is filled with battles. And every scar has a story, not of defeat, but of survival. People think you're calm because your life is easy. They have no idea. Your peace was purchased with war. You've cried in silence, healed in shadows, rebuilt yourself from dust. And that's why your strength is felt, not just seen. You walk like someone who has died before and come back stronger. What should have destroyed you only made you deeper. You feel things on a level most never touch. And while others run from the fire, you've learned to walk through it. You don't fear pain, you study it. Because every time life shattered you, you found a piece of yourself buried in the ruins. Omega-level chosen ones don't just survive darkness, they learn its language. But don't mistake this strength for coldness. You love deeply. That's the irony. The strongest souls are often the softest. You protect fiercely. You feel fully. But you've also learned who deserves access to your heart, and who only came to break it. You've bled enough to know that not everyone who smiles loves you. Not everyone who stays supports you. And not everyone who leaves is a loss. There's a reason you're still here. A reason life tried to break you and failed. You were never meant to be average, never meant to be safe. You were meant to shake things, shift things, build new paths. You are not weak because you feel. You are not broken because you care. You are powerful because you've suffered and still choose to rise. Every time you step toward your purpose, chaos erupts. Things fall apart. Relationships crumble. Money disappears. Your body even reacts. Illness, exhaustion, unexplained pain. It's not bad luck. It's resistance. The kind only Omega-level chosen ones face. Because the moment you step into alignment, every force that wants you to stay small goes to war against you. But here's what they forget. Pressure creates power, and fire only refines the gold. You notice how the attacks come in waves, not random, but timed. Just when you're about to break through, something hits you. A betrayal, a setback, a breakdown. It's surgical, it's spiritual. But instead of collapsing, something in you activates. A darker strength, a deeper clarity. You move quieter. You plan sharper. You stop explaining and start building. Because the more the darkness hits you, the more you remember who you are. You begin to understand that you are the threat. Not because you harm, but because you heal. And healing terrifies those built on control. You don't follow. You don't obey blindly. You question, you disrupt, you expose. And that makes you dangerous to systems built on silence. That's why you're attacked. Because your very existence is rebellion. Your clarity is their collapse. People think spiritual warfare is some mystical thing. But you've lived it in your mind, in your home, in your dreams. The anxiety, the doubt, the fear, they weren't just emotions. They were weapons. And every time you chose love over bitterness, truth over comfort, faith over fear, you were winning battles no one saw. Your resilience is divine warfare. And one day you realize the attacks were confirmation. The hell you went through was proof. Proof that you're not ordinary. That you're not a mistake. You were targeted because you're chosen. And not just chosen, dangerous to the darkness. That's why you're still here. That's why you're rising. That's why you win. You start noticing patterns, the way life delays you, only for it to make sense later. The way people leave, only for better ones to arrive. The way you're pushed away from something, and then you find out it would have destroyed you. It stops being coincidence. You realize you're not operating on a normal timeline. Destiny has its own schedule, and you're on that clock. You miss a flight, then avoid a tragedy. You lose a job, then find your purpose. You hit rock bottom and discover a door that wasn't visible before. To others, it looks like you're stumbling through life. But behind the scenes, something greater is orchestrating every delay, every detour, every moment. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. Divine timing feels brutal. It rarely makes sense in the moment. You'll beg for answers. You'll cry for relief. You'll question your worth. But months later, maybe years, it hits you. That pain was a pivot. That no saved your soul. That loss made space for your breakthrough. When you operate on sacred timing, clarity comes after obedience, not before. Omega-level chosen ones are architects of ripple effects. One decision you make shifts the lives of dozens, even hundreds. A conversation, a refusal, a step away, all calculated by something higher. That's why your journey is so protected. That's why you're pulled away from chaos, even when you fight to stay. Because your life has impact far beyond what you can see. Eventually, you stop resisting the delays. You start trusting them. You don't chase what runs. You don't panic when doors close. You've seen enough to know, if it didn't work out, it wasn't meant to. Not because you failed, but because something better is being built. Your timeline isn't late. It's legendary, and every detour was divine. You don't always know why, but you know. Before the betrayal happens, before the deal goes wrong, before the lie is told, something inside your chest pulls tight, like a silent alarm. Your intuition doesn't whisper. It hits like a wave. Omega-level chosen ones are gifted with a sixth sense that screams louder the more they ignore it. And when they listen, it saves them from destruction they never even saw coming. While others look for signs, you feel them. Your body becomes the signal. Your energy shifts. Your stomach tightens. Your thoughts get louder. Something feels off, even when everything looks perfect. That's not paranoia. That's precision. Your intuition is a divine instrument, tuned over lifetimes, sharpened through suffering. It's how you navigate a world full of masks, by sensing what can't be seen. You've learned the hard way what happens when you ignore it. The friend you didn't trust your gut about. The deal you knew wasn't right. The path that looked safe but felt wrong. Every mistake became a lesson. Now, you don't explain your decisions. You don't justify your withdrawals. If it doesn't feel aligned, you walk. No debate, no guilt, no delay. People say you're too cautious, too intense, but they don't carry what you carry. They don't see what you see. You're not reacting to logic. You're responding to frequency. You read energy before words. You feel intentions before they're spoken. That's why you often feel overwhelmed in crowds. It's not noise. It's energy overload. Your gift comes at a cost, but it also comes with power. In time, you begin to trust that inner voice more than any external advice. You stop outsourcing your decisions. You stop doubting your instincts. Because every time you honor that voice, life flows. And every time you silence it, chaos follows. For an Omega-level chosen one, intuition isn't optional. It's survival. And the more you trust it, the more unstoppable you become. There is a darkness in you, not evil, but untamed. Most people suppress theirs, but you've met yours. You've sat with it. You've raged. You've burned. You've stared into the abyss of your own soul and didn't run. That's what makes you powerful. Omega-level chosen ones don't fear their shadow. They wield it, not to hurt, but to protect, not to destroy, but to defend what's sacred. You're capable of terrifying things, not because you want to harm, but because you could, if you needed to. You know your depth. You know your rage, but you also know your control. That self-awareness is what makes you dangerous in the best way. You're not reckless. You're ready. Calm on the surface, but never weak. Kind, but never naive. Loving, but never blind. You've been pushed before, provoked, tested, and you did not explode. You calculated. You chose silence. You chose distance. But deep down, you know what you're capable of, and that quiet power scares people more than shouting ever could. You've mastered the art of holding the storm inside. You've become a vessel of restraint. But never mistake that restraint for absence of fire. Your shadow taught you boundaries. It taught you self-respect. It taught you that light alone can't survive in this world. You need the edge, the bite, the dark clarity that keeps you from being devoured. While others chase toxic positivity, you integrate all of you. That's what makes you whole. Not purity, not perfection. Wholeness, the balance of shadow and light. And when the moment comes, and when someone you love is threatened, when truth is at stake, when silence is no longer sacred, you become the storm. Not because you want to, but because no one else will. You were built for that moment, to protect, to confront, to command. Your shadow is not your weakness. It is your weapon, and you've trained it well. There's something about your eyes that stops people mid-sentence, not because of beauty, but because of intensity. You don't just look, you see, straight through masks, through excuses, through personas. Your gaze unsettles liars, inspires the lost, and awakens the hidden parts of those around you. People either lean in or look away, not because you're judging, but because truth radiates from your eyes like a silent fire. You've been told before, there's something different about you. They don't always know what it is. But it's the eyes. They carry stories, pain, power, even when your lips stay quiet. That's because you've lived through things that can't be explained, only felt. Your eyes have watched worlds fall and still remained unshaken. That's why people feel peace in your presence and tension in your silence. Your vision holds both comfort and confrontation. Omega-level chosen ones often develop what others call the stare. It's not intentional. It's focus. It's presence. It's awareness on a level most don't know exists. You're not scanning for flaws. You're reading energy. You're picking up on what's not said. And that makes some people nervous, especially those who hide behind charm, noise, or chaos. You don't react to performance. You respond to essence. And when you're in your purpose, when you've fully aligned with your inner fire, your eyes burn with something almost sacred. The light of knowing. The weight of destiny. People feel it, even if they can't name it. You don't need to shout your value. You don't need to prove anything. You simply look, and everything else fades away. Your presence reminds people of what they forgot they could be. Because for chosen ones, the eyes are not just windows to the soul. They're proof of survival, of battles fought in silence, of resilience earned through fire. They carry the energy of someone who has seen death and chosen life anyway. And when you lock eyes with another awakened soul, no words are needed. Just that knowing, that nod, that silent recognition. You see it too. And now you know. You were never meant to be ordinary. You were never meant to blend in. You were never lost. You were hidden until the time was right. If you felt seen today, if something in your soul lit up, then this message wasn't just content. It was confirmation. You carry something rare, and rare things are never loud. They're powerful in silence, dangerous in truth, and unshakable in purpose. So now I ask you, which moment hit you the hardest? Which truth awakened something inside you? Let me know in the comments. Your voice matters here. And if you made it this far, drop Divine Calling in the comments, so I know you're one of us, the few who see, who feel, who remember. Because your presence here isn't random, it's divine.